How's it going, folks? Jeff Benjamin with 9 to 5 Mac. In this video, we walk through all the new beta 2 features for iOS 18, but we take it a step further and walk you through some of the advanced SharePlay remote control functionality. And I answer some of the frequently asked questions I received from the initial AirPlay mirroring tutorial we did. But first, 9 to 5 Mac is sponsored by iMazing 3, the best way to manage your mobile Apple devices, now with a simpler interface that's even more powerful. The Discover section lets you explore what iMazing can do, while Devices let you manage all devices from one place with multiple views and bulk controls. Backups let you archive, edit, export, and manage snapshots. In the Devices view, you'll find a data section for browsing and transferring messages, music, call history, contacts, etc. While Tools features one-click file transfers, local backups, spyware detection, device-to-device transfer, OS reinstall, log export, device supervision, and more. And you can manage all of your backup preferences in device settings, while Configurator for Business lets you provision, configure, supervise, and simplify MDM enrollment. iMazing is a modular platform with many features to come. Click the link in the description to download iMazing 3 today. How's it going, folks? Jeff Benjamin with 9 to 5 Mac. This is iOS 18 Beta 2. We have a lot to talk about here in this video. It comes with build number 22A5297F for those keeping score at home. SharePlay remote control is one of the tentpole iOS 18 features. It wasn't active on iOS 18 Beta 1, but on Beta 2 it is active. So when you tap Share, you have these two options: share your screen or ask to share. So the sharing part is not new, but the control aspect is new. So let me show you how it works. So when the recipient receives the request, they can say not now, or they can go ahead and actually share their screen. So I'm going to submit the request again, ask to share. This time I'm going to tap share, and the sharing session begins. All right, so all you do, swipe up here so you can see the home screen. We'll make it big. Swipe that out of the way. Do the same over here. So the iPhone on the left is the iPhone that is sharing the screen. The iPhone on the right is the iPhone that's viewing the shared screen. So whenever I interact with the phone on the left, the iPhone viewing the share is going to see it more or less in real time. So again, the sharing part is not new, but let's talk about the control aspect. All right, so in the bottom left-hand corner, you can of course zoom in just like that and zoom out. But notice this now, you can tap on the screen, you're going to see the tap indicators there, and you can see that reflected on the iPhone that is being controlled. And notice the colors change based on the color of the background that you're tapping on. That is really cool. But you can annotate as well. So I can draw a circle around tips if I want the person to launch tips. And this annotation is ephemeral, so it will disappear after a period of time. But like I said, notice the colors change based on the background that you're drawing on. So up here, you have that salmon color and you get a peach color to complement it. Down here, you get the blue to complement it. And on a yellow background, you get green. So it's just interesting how that will recognize the color that you're actually annotating. Now, if you zoom in, you cannot annotate or control, so just something to keep in mind. Now, in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see the option to actually initiate a control request. So remote control, you can allow or disallow. In this case, I'm going to allow, so just tap allow, and the remote control session has started. So we'll just give it a second, waiting for Jeff, and there we go. So now I can control the phone on the left via the phone on the right. So you can see Jeff is controlling. You'll notice the little blue outline appears whenever I am controlling the phone. So it says you are controlling. Now when the owner of the phone is controlling, you'll see that message below as well. So when you are using remote control, you can't actually annotate as you could before when remote control was disabled. So notice that. And if you zoom in using the zoom button, just like you can't annotate while zooming, you can't control while zooming either. So it says zoom out to control. Now, those little borders that I showed you earlier, watch what happens when I control the owner's iPhone. I have my finger on the screen and I try to control with the remote session. It actually blocks me from doing so. You see the little red around the border indicating that I'm controlling. When the owner releases, you can take control again, but they can interrupt your control at any time, whereas the remote iPhone cannot interrupt the owner's iPhone, which makes sense. The owner can also stop a remote control session at any time just by tapping stop in the bottom right-hand corner like this. And that will stop that session. You can see remote control ended. That doesn't stop the SharePlay view session, but just stops remote control. And then of course, again, you can initiate a remote control request again from the remote device, just like that. And it starts up again. Now, another thing I appreciate about SharePlay is the stability, because as I'm controlling the screen, I can actually initiate a Wi-Fi connection, it connects, and you're none the wiser. And I can actually disconnect and it'll jump back over to the cellular connection and you still have full-on remote control. So I think this feature is going to help a lot of people, especially help people like parents or grandparents. If they have questions about their phones, well, now you'll be able to help them remotely. And this works between iPads, iPhones and iPads, and vice versa. In Beta 2, you get a new customized glyph when editing the home screen. So if you tap Edit, you see where it says Customize there. Notice the paintbrush hovering above the home screen with the app icons, which accurately symbolizes customizing the home screen. Here's how it looked in Beta 1, just a paintbrush. So subtle difference, but now let's talk about the customized interface itself. So when we enter Customize mode, you'll see this little area here for customizing the home screen. Now, on Beta 1, you'll notice quite a few differences. First of all, the ability to switch between light and dark wallpaper tint was only available in dark mode. See how it disappears when in automatic or light on Beta 1. So if you wanted to tint your wallpaper, you had to be in the dark mode, like that. Now on Beta 2, that option is available across the board. So whether you're in dark mode, light mode, automatic, or tint, you can change the wallpaper background to dark. Now there's also an animation between the light and dark toggle that you didn't get before because, well, it was only available when selecting dark, but you can see the little animation on Beta 2. Now you also get more transparency for the glyphs when customizing the home screen icon. So you can see here on Beta 1, there's not as much opacity, whereas on Beta 2, you can definitely see the sun behind the clouds. Why is there a sun in dark mode, by the way? All right, so the App Store icon, when switching to dark mode on Beta 1, it was still light. But on Beta 2, you get a proper dark App Store icon, which is nice. Looks good, doesn't it? Now I notice occasionally dark badges would appear in Beta 2. This is probably a bug, but I'm just saying it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Now dark mode icons are now throughout iOS when switching to dark mode proper. So all the Apple icons, for instance, calculator, books, calendar, have the dark mode representation in settings. And there's a new widget related to the Wallet app. So if we go to add new widget, go to Wallet, you'll see widgets we've already seen related to Apple Card, order tracking, get a small, medium, and large. But here's the cool thing, a new widget for connected cards. So you can see your balance and card details for connected accounts outside of your Apple Card in the future, because it doesn't work quite yet. But if you go in here and you select Edit Widget, you'll see an option to select an account to see your balance and card details for that connected account, but it doesn't work yet. And you have a redesigned Apple Intelligence Siri Glyph or animation here in the Tips app. So you can see that animate into that new Siri style for the Siri/AI Apple Intelligence design language. Now you also have an updated subscriber iCloud glyph, which is interesting. It says subscriber iCloud. So that matches the subscriber edition of the News app for those that pay for Apple News Plus. So you can definitely see the similarities in design language. However, just kind of interesting that they chose subscriber iCloud versus subscriber edition like it used to be. Now, there's a new Share It With You photo filter in the Photos app. So if you tap the little filter button down below, you see view options. You can disable or enable Share It With You photos just like you can do with screenshots. So that's super cool because sometimes you just don't want those extra photos sent to you from others. Now, there's also a new recovered album and photos. Now, what's interesting is this doesn't seem like it's related to previously deleted photos that you undelete, but this seems to be more so for photos that aren't properly synced to your photo library, that are just sort of out there, but it's ready to be recovered and stored in this secure location. Speaking of security, Face ID verification no longer auto starts when opening up a secured album. So watch what happens when I open up Photos on Beta 1. It automatically invokes Face ID because you left off on that recently deleted album. And that's obviously a security risk. But here on Beta 2, when you open up, you'll notice it's on recently deleted, but you have to invoke Face ID first. Now you'll notice that the lock screen clock language options are now sorted in alphabetical order. So if we go to lock screen, edit our lock screen, click the little language button, you can see A through U. Speaking of U, there's a new Urdu clock language, which you'll find down here below. Just tap on that. And there's the Urdu clock. Shout out to all my Urdu speakers. Speaking of language, the bilingual keyboard indicator is now smaller and more subtle here on Beta 2. So we're going to add another keyboard and we're going to add Spanish, and then you're going to be presented with a bilingual keyboard option if you want that. So we're going to select that and then save it. And now you'll see the bilingual indicator in the bottom right-hand corner of the space bar. As you see right there, English and Spanish. So it's more subtle here on Beta 2 than it was on Beta 1. Notice how Beta 1 looks. You can see it's much more apparent that we're using that bilingual keyboard compared to Beta 2. Now you also have the ability to disable math results via the toggle under keyboard. So you just turn it off, show math results, toggle it on or off at your leisure. Now, of course, one of the big features of iOS 18, one that's been anticipated for a while, is RCS support for communication with Android phones using a more modern protocol when compared to SMS. So RCS, which stands for Rich Communication Services, allows you to have things like read receipts, higher image quality when sharing images, etc. And now it's available to enable in Beta 2 if your carrier supports RCS. And you can tell if they do by tapping Carrier in Settings General About. It'll say RCS there. Now in Beta 2, you also get smaller heading explainers for things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, accessibility. You see it's a little bit smaller, more compact, and the text is smaller as well. Here for Bluetooth, you have an updated explainer text, so connect to accessories you can use for activities. And you also get gray discoverable text here below, compared to white on Beta 1. And you also get an updated music haptics glyph. It's now red. And you also get an updated vocal shortcuts glyph, which is now black, as you can see here, compared to Beta 1, which was gray. And the text for Siri Request in vocal shortcuts is now white instead of blue. So I'm going to add an action, continue, and then you see the Siri Request there is white. On Beta 1, it was blue. Let's open it up. There we go. And we touched on this a little bit earlier, but again, in settings, AirPlay, and continuity, you're going to see the iPhone mirroring section, which allows you to see the maps that are available for iPhone mirroring. Now, unfortunately, it is still a little bit buggy. So you can see Apple Watch is there for whatever reason. No, you can't mirror your iPhone on your Apple Watch. Now, here's another cool update. You go to Settings, General, Autofill, and Passwords. The passwords glyph has now been updated to match that of the actual app icon for passwords, whereas in Beta 1, it was still the old little glyph. Nice update. And here's something actually super useful. In the Passwords app, in the bottom right-hand corner on the main page now, you have the plus indicator that allows you to add a new password, whereas on Beta 1, you actually had to go into the All section, for instance, to be able to add a password. So it's nice to be able to do that from the root of the application itself. And now when doing autofill, you'll notice the passwords glyph is now the large icon and the website is now the small icon, the favicon, on Beta 2 compared to Beta 1. Sort of reversing roles. Also a little bit different padding as well. And now a long press is now required to shut down using that button in Control Center in the upper right hand corner. Previously on Beta 1, you just touched it and it would basically try to shut down your phone or prompt you to slide the power off, which is annoying because then you have to go in and verify with your passcode again. But here on Beta 2, you have to actually intend to press that button because it requires a long press now, as you can see there. And then there's improved Control Center search. So previously, if you search for something in Control Center on Beta 1, it will pull in a lot of different results. I wanted the stopwatch, but it pulled in things that are related to the stopwatch. Well, here on beta 2, it searches for the exact string that you're looking for. And also in Control Center, the hover text glyph, we'll search for it there. And it illustrates the bad search on beta 1. But the hover text glyph, you can now see it has the actual glyph, whereas before it was blank. And now Control Center is just overall more stable in my experience. It's still not perfect. It still needs some work, but in beta 1, it was almost unusable in my experience. Well, now it's a lot more stable, and you get subtler haptic feedback when long pressing on one of the toggles. Instead of a double hit of haptic feedback, it's more of a singular, more subtle experience. And there's an updated music recognition UI in the Control Center, which is interesting. So I already posted an in-depth walkthrough of iPhone mirroring, walking you through the entire process, showing everything involved. This is the new feature, of course, that works alongside macOS Sequoia. If you haven't watched my walkthrough video of iPhone mirroring, be sure to do so because it literally steps through pretty much everything. The entire process shows you notifications, shows you how to interact with your phone, the security aspects, everything, right? But basically, this is a feature that allows you to mirror your iPhone's display wirelessly right on your Mac. And it's not just viewing your iPhone, it's totally controlling it using your trackpad and your keyboard. So you can swipe between pages, you can launch apps, you can interact with notifications directly on your Mac. You can, of course, watch video. The sound will even play, which is crazy. And it's basically real time. There's also in the Chrome area, the ability to go back to the home screen or open up the app switcher. It's super full featured and very impressive, especially the lack of latency, as long as your iPhone is relatively close by. So despite this in-depth video, you guys had a ton of additional questions. So I'm using this video to answer a lot of the frequently asked questions that I received in my initial iPhone mirroring tutorial video. So have a look. So quite a lot of you had questions about iPhone mirroring, how it worked. A lot of you have some very specific questions, so I thought I would answer those questions in this section of my beta 2 overview. So the first question is from TFR50. He says, does assistive touch work? And I have confirmed that it does not work. You can launch iPhone mirroring with assistive touch enabled, but you won't see the little assistive touch button anywhere on the screen. It stays on the lock screen. Can I mirror my phone to a PC or is it just Mac only? And I can confirm this is just Mac only. The next question is from I'm Back Outside. He asks, is there a way to control iPhone remotely? Now I'm assuming you mean over like a cellular connection. In that case, no. Your iPhone has to be pretty close nearby and it requires a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection for that continuity. The next question is from Plenner Family. Can it go into landscape mode? And yes, your iPhone can go into landscape mode, but you can't actually force it into landscape mode like you can just by holding it. You actually have to be using an application that goes into landscape mode, like putting a video in a full screen in YouTube, for instance, will force it into landscape mode, or some games automatically start in landscape mode, just like that. So in that case, you'll see an animation on screen as it rotates from portrait view to landscape view. The next question is from Keith Supian 6603. He asks, did you notice if it puts an excessive strain on your iPhone battery? I didn't really notice anything. I didn't notice any extra heat being generated out of the norm. So far so good in that area. The next one is from Derek Wu 8989. He asks, the window size cannot be changed. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but indeed, the window size cannot be changed. Now, if you adjust the resolution on your Mac's display, it will, make the iPhone mirroring screen larger, but it's not going to actually increase the resolution of that screen. So the larger it is, the more pixelated it looks. I guess that's the best way to explain it. The next one is from KDaniel9060. Hey Jeff, can you use your Mac like you normally would while mirroring your iPhone? And the good news is, yes, it works just like normal. It's just another application that is running on your Mac. It's pretty cool. The next question is from Slava Aloha. He says, I have to ask, can I run Apple Fitness on iPhone while using mirroring? But I can confirm that Apple Fitness, while you can launch the app, it actually doesn't work because it's DRM protected apparently. So you'll just see a black screen. And that's the case with any sort of movie app that is DRM protected. The next one is from Rel Robinson. Can you run Apple Arcade with this feature? Yes, you can. I play plenty of Apple Arcade games. It even works with controllers and there's minimal lag. It's actually a pretty good experience. The next one is, can you use the camera? I'm assuming you mean the camera on the iPhone itself. In that case, no, you can't use the camera. You cannot use the microphone, and that's for security reasons. Next question is from AC Parola. He says, how's the stability? And for beta, it's really good. I haven't noticed any sort of issues. The only time you notice the connection is a little unstable is when you move your iPhone further away than you should. You really need to keep it within a fairly close vicinity. I put it like 2 rooms away and it was really choppy. It wasn't a good experience at all. So you're gonna wanna have your iPhone close by. You don't have to have it like on your desk or anything, but it's probably best if it's in the same room or at least the next room over. Next question is, have you tried gaming in landscape mode? If so, how's the input lag? So I already talked about gaming. It's great. Input lag is fairly minimal. I'm not a big gamer, but from what I noticed playing like Crossy Castle and stuff like that with a PlayStation controller, it worked really well. Fans Reviews asks, when you were playing back YouTube, was it coming from your Mac speakers or through your iPhone speakers? And the cool thing about iPhone mirroring is that you hear the sound through your Mac speakers. So it's not like for instance, you have your iPhone in the next room over, you have to like try to hear or listen for the iPhone. That's not how it works. The sound is actually, I guess, compressed and sent over the air, over the Wi-Fi connection, and you hear the sound pretty clear. And I didn't notice any discernible lag when I was watching our podcast. I couldn't really tell like if the timing was off with the speaking, so it worked pretty well for me. Steve Turcott 156040 asks, is the mirroring app always on top of other applications? No, it's just like a normal application. It can hide behind other apps just as well. So yeah. Felipe Rodriguez asks, can you have a call with AirPods connected to the iPhone and still use mirroring? So I tried this. So I had a phone call with AirPods while I was trying to basically start a mirroring session, and it said my phone was in use. So even if like you lock your screen while on a phone call, you still can't do it. Cwanja89 asked the question, does engaging the iPhone notification from macOS clear it from the iPhone? And do iPhone notifications only show when you have iPhone mirroring? So first question, yes, if you do engage with the notification on the Mac via mirroring, it will actually clear that notification on your phone. And the next question, do iPhone notifications only show when you have mirroring enabled? No. Actually, I was getting notifications even when I didn't have a mirroring session. Like even when the app was closed, I was getting my iPhone notifications from my iPhone on my Mac, if that makes sense. I don't know if they'll keep it working that way. That may just be a bug, or I'm not sure, but there are like settings within macOS to adjust notifications from a mirrored iPhone. You can even go as far as setting each application with notifications enabled or not. Next question is this, does it work on Sonoma? No, this is a Sequoia Beta 2 and higher feature only. Jeff Palm asks, what if I'm using my iPhone as a continuity camera on my Mac? Can I access it while doing that? I tried this. No, you cannot. It will give you an error message in the upper right-hand corner, give you a little dialogue saying you must disable continuity camera before you're able to use iPhone mirroring. HVAC Mechanical. Can you drag and drop photos or files from iPhone to your Mac? So drag and drop will be a feature that will be enabled later, but it's not enabled currently, at least in this beta. But that is a feature that Apple showed off at WWDC, and I definitely look forward to it. Here's another one, One versus Watts. Can you mirror the iPhone with an iPad? So no, you can't. It's iPhone only. Maybe we'll get that in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to mirror our phone to our iPad. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? But no, it's iPhone and Mac only. So those are the questions I received. Hope that was able to be a little bit helpful. Obviously, if you have more questions, let me know down below. If you appreciate this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and thumbs up for more.
So ladies and gents, thanks for watching. That is a look at what's new in iOS 18 Beta 2. Stay tuned because we have a lot more in the works, including 50 plus hidden features for iOS 18. You definitely don't want to miss that.
Special thanks to iMazing3 for sponsoring 9 to 5 Mac on YouTube. This is the best way to manage your mobile Apple devices, and now it comes with a simpler interface that's even more powerful than before. You can manage your devices, create backups, perform file transfers, browse your device data, and a whole lot more. The best thing is, iMazing is a modular platform with many features to come. Be sure to click the link down below in the description and download iMazing3 today. So, why stop there? Why not check out these other 2 videos that we think you'll like?